CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Matt Woodman.
Good evening. A loaded gun was discovered by a girl on a walk in West Edmonton. Police say it's uncommon to find stashed weapons, but it does happen. CTV's Miriam Valdez-Carletti has more on the situation and who police are now looking for.
Seeing police at the Secord Rock Garden playground isn't something Christopher Nelson is used to.
There were two police officers that were just looking at the bench. I couldn't understand why. And they were there for like 20 minutes just looking at the bench.
Nelson watched from his backyard, knowing something was wrong.
There was a text from our community that came out that maybe a gun was found. Which I still found it hard to believe. It was surprising.
It turns out they were right. Police say last Wednesday, a father and daughter were walking by this pond when the girl kicked a blue rag lying on the ground. That's when they found a loaded 9mm handgun.
I can't even believe something like that would happen, let alone a little girl finding it. Like, how dangerous? What if a group of kids were outside playing together and they didn't think anything of it and started playing with it?
Police say if you ever find a weapon, like the gun found at this pond, don't touch it or remove it. Instead, call police so they can safely remove it, which is exactly what this family did. Officers have security footage from the same area 3 days before the gun was found. It shows a person getting out of a white car and carrying a blue rag. Police are asking for people in the neighborhood to check their security footage from Sunday, March 8th between 5 and 6 a.m. Nelson believes the gun may have been found by this bench.
Somebody else came and then started to take pictures of just the bench and then put something in a bag.
Something he never suspected could happen in his area.
We have no situations of guns or gangs or any situation like that. All of the kids are always playing in the streets. It's always fun. It's really quiet.
There's just so many families here. I would hate for something like that to happen and become like more of a regular occurrence.
Edmonton police say this appears to be the only incident of this kind in the last 2 years in Secord. So far this year across Edmonton, there have been fewer than 20 calls of found firearms and or weapons. Miriam Valdez-Carletti, CTV News, Edmonton.
The new multi-million-dollar rec center coming to West Edmonton is going to cost more than expected. The city has already adjusted the project to save more than $90 million. But as CTV's Jeremy Thompson reports, staff say inflation and other factors outside the city's control mean the price tag still has to go up.
The sign pegs the budget at just over $311 million. But even as work continues on the Lewis Farms Recreation Centre, that cost is rising, putting council in a financial bind.
We know we need more ice rinks. We know we need more pools. We know we need more of these things. So to have it be a shell of itself is not an option.
The rec centre has been recosted multiple times since planning began back in 2014. Council first approved $321 million in 2018. The project was shelved the next year due to provincial funding cuts. When it was revived, inflation and supply chain issues meant the original vision would now cost more than $100 million extra.
It really shows you got to move fast on these things. The longer you wait, prices only go up for construction and then inflation as well.
Council asked city staff to build the best rec centre possible within a new $309 million budget. And they managed to save more than $90 million through design and scope changes. The once planned academic center is gone, part of a 32% reduction to the square footage. The aquatics area is smaller, the dive tank and platforms now integrated with the main pool. Fitness and arena space has also shrunk.
So we went from a high elite competitive facility that would host these things to more of a community focus.
The district park surrounding the rec center won't have the promised twin outdoor rinks, ball diamonds, courts, or the skate park, but the pipes have been built underground, so the site is ready for those amenities in the future.
And I think a lot of people, purchased their homes there and made this the area of the city they want to be in because they saw this coming, and they will not be disappointed.
Despite the savings, Council approved more money to get Lewis Farms over the finish line. The new budget is private for now.
There will be nothing hidden. It's just making sure we do the right timing so we do not actually accidentally create a situation where Edmontonians are paying more because we essentially told everyone what we're willing to pay as a maximum.
With the funding top-up secured, construction is on track to finish next year with a grand opening in late 2028. Jeremy Thompson, CTV News, Edmonton.
The UCP government has tabled legislation to limit the expansion of medical assistance in dying in Alberta. If passed, it would also prohibit MAID from anyone unlikely to die within a year. CTV's Nicole Weisberg has the details.
Ultimately, this is about protecting vulnerable Albertans and establishing strong safeguards for a healthcare practice of great consequence.
Alberta's premier is referring to MAID, or medical assistance in dying, a choice eligible Canadians have had for nearly a decade. Right now, MAID is available to consenting adults in an advanced state of a serious and incurable illness that will lead to death. However, in 1 year's time, it is expected to expand to those suffering solely from a mental illness.
Eligibility is widening, while the guardrails and oversight are weakening. The way Alberta sees it, these escalating factors put the safety and well-being of vulnerable individuals at far too grave a risk.
The Safeguards for Last Resort Termination of Life Act, introduced in the legislature, prohibits MAID where a natural death is not reasonably foreseeable. It also allows doctors and healthcare facilities to refuse to assess or provide MAID, restricts healthcare workers from initiating conversations with a patient about MAID, and limits MAID only to individuals whose death is foreseeable in the next 12 months.
We have taken a very different approach in Alberta, where we believe recovery is possible, not only for addiction, but also mental illness.
The national organization Dying with Dignity Canada says some of the legislation is redundant. For example, health professionals can already decline to participate in MAID as well.
I think concern overall that we're creating barriers to access. I think the fact that Canadians need they need information to provide informed consent.
This health law professor foresees legal challenges to the bill, particularly to the requirement natural death must be foreseeable within 12 months.
Given that this was successfully litigated before Quebec's courts as being unconstitutional and the government wasn't able to defend that, that's the part of the legislation that I actually think is most vulnerable to constitutional challenge.
Something both the Premier and the Justice Minister say the provincial government is prepared to take on. Nicole Weisberg, CTV News, Edmonton.
Danielle Smith's approval rating as Premier is up, according to new data from Angus Reid. Smith's approval rating is up 2 points to 46%. Angus Reid says despite her government recently projecting a more than $9 billion budget deficit, Smith's rating has remained fairly steady since taking office. Her lowest rating was 42% in December of 2022, and while it reached a peak of 51% in June of last year. Premier Smith says she traveled on a private plane on behalf of the Saudi government during her trip to the Middle East last year.
They provided the accommodation. It was approved by the Ethics Commissioner in advance. When it came to the flight that we took, it was a private plane, non-commercial aircraft. It was proposed by the government of Saudi Arabia in order to enable efficient movement around the country, including to locations with limited commercial airline services.
The Premier and members of her staff traveled to Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates in the fall. She says she bonded with the Saudi energy minister over their shared goal of reducing poverty and emissions while making sure we have energy security. Opposition leader Naheed Nenshi says the trip cost Albertans $64,000 and he questions the appropriateness of the flights. Gas prices are climbing higher around here. Some stations in Edmonton are now selling fuel for nearly $1.64 a litre. Gas Buddy shows you can still find some spots selling fuel for $1.39 a litre. On average, Alberta still has the cheapest gas prices in the country. In British Columbia, drivers are paying about $2 a litre currently. Prices have been pushed higher because of the war in Iran. A public policy professor says this leaves people with less income for everything else. He says food prices will also rise as a result of increasing transportation costs, with fresh international produce being hit the hardest, and that's just the beginning.
If you take a barrel of oil and run it through a refinery, you get gasoline, mostly for passenger vehicles. You get diesel for trucks, like you mentioned, food production, food distribution, freight. You get jet fuel for air travel. And then importantly, you also get a lot of feedstocks that go into making plastics and petrochemicals, which could be the clothes we wear or the products that we consume as well. So the inflationary effects of all those things together can be significant.
If the crisis in the Middle East continues into the summer, it is possible for gas to reach $2 a litre. Johnston believes that'll be the psychological threshold where people will start drastically changing their behaviours. The Bank of Canada says it considered the effects of the Middle East war when deciding to hold its key interest rate. Many economists predicted the bank would hold its key interest rate at 2.25%. The bank also looked at trade uncertainty and recent economic data. That included a report which showed the annual pace of inflation in February was slightly lower than expected at 1.8%. As U of A education students celebrate their graduation, school boards are preparing to hire new and more teachers. The province is also considering other ways to fill those roles, including hiring people without education degrees. CTV's Connor Hogg has more.
Young teachers-to-be are celebrating their accomplishments.
Currently, we expect this year to graduate a little over 2,300 new graduated teachers with degrees and many other educational assistants.
Expedited post-secondary programs will be a part of getting new teachers in schools across Alberta. The Dean of the U of A's education faculty says her department has recently completed a program renewal that gives students more hands-on experience in the field with focus on inclusive education, child development, and other complexities.
We want to ensure that anyone that goes into schools is well prepared to do that.
She says many student teachers can be nervous about taking over their own classroom.
If a student with a 4-year B.Ed is feeling trepidatious about the realities of current classrooms, I would be thoughtful about how I would want to expedite folks into teaching.
One such path would see people without education degrees filling some teacher roles.
Talk about, say, shop classes and things like that, where we can get somebody very experienced in the trades, and we have an expedited pathway system for people like that to be able to get into the education as teachers faster than the usual 4-year degree program.
There's certain things that you just can't cut corners when it comes to teacher preparation work. So, for instance, practicums or certain courses around curriculum or instruction or classroom management.
The Alberta Teachers Association wants to see attention paid to supporting new hires to make sure they're set up for success, something the Faculty of Education agrees with.
To make sure that we're putting strategies in place that enable teachers to flourish early on and then choose to stay.
We think that we've established pathways that make sure that they have the education background that they need.
The Advanced Education Minister says we can expect to see teachers from its Expedited Pathways programs in place by the end of the year. Connor Hogg, CTV News, Edmonton.
No one was hurt when a train slammed into a semi in southern Alberta.
Colonialist, imperialist. Holy
RCMP say the semi was stopped at a railway crossing yesterday afternoon. It started driving through the intersection as the train was coming. No one reported any serious injuries. Police say the truck driver received a careless driving ticket worth $850. RCMP and CN Police had planned a news conference for today to draw attention to how often these crashes happen and to ask people to be more aware around train crossings.
This particular one, my understanding was quite open. There's field, it's Tabor-Vauxhall area, so we're not talking a lot of hills or anything. He just missed it. So take that extra time, and drive safe.
Part of the reason why we're here today is because those collisions happen across this province. There is no one location that drivers have to focus on. There was the collision yesterday in Tabor. There was a collision yesterday in Whitecourt, Alberta, between a CN-operated train and a logging truck on Highway 43. Drivers in the province need to be alert and need to be aware.
RCMP say last year 37 collisions happened at train crossings. 2 people were killed and 6 people were seriously injured. In Edmonton, another vehicle has collided with the Valley Line LRT. The city says a truck hit a southbound train near 83rd Street and 69A Avenue around 11 o'clock this morning. Train services were shut down between Davies and Bonnie Doon stations for just over an hour. Since it opened in 2023, vehicles have collided with the Valley Line more than 30 times. The federal government is spending money to help Treaty 6 First Nations establish their own search and rescue programs. Treaty 6 says over the past year, more than 120 volunteers have gone through search and rescue training. Public Safety Canada says this additional $241,000 will help train 36 search and rescue team leads and managers. One Grand Chief says jurisdictional issues and remote locations can make First Nations communities vulnerable when it comes to disasters and emergencies.
It means that when someone goes missing on our land, our people are ready to respond, and we're not waiting to help. We're not waiting for help to arrive from somewhere else. We are the help.
The Confederacy of Treaty 6 First Nations wants to eventually have a regional team join Canada's humanitarian workforce. Its rescuers could then be deployed to Indigenous communities across the country. The Oilers earned a win during their first game without superstar Leon Draisaitl in the lineup. It was a team effort with 13 different players picking up at least 1 point during the Oilers' 5-3 victory over the Sharks last night. Draisaitl is fourth in league scoring and is expected to miss the rest of the season with an injury. The players know they'll have to continue contributing until he returns.
I think anytime a star player goes out, there's minutes to be had that get dispersed to other players. So it's everyone's time to shine, really, to step up and take those minutes in a positive way.
I'd love to fill Leo's spot and just go out there and be Leo, but that's not how it works. So tonight was a good step for us, and that's something that we just have to continue to build.
The Oilers' next game is tomorrow night against the Florida Panthers. The team will also celebrate Pride Night at Rogers Place. Coming up next on CTV News, exploring ways to manage the millions of visitors in Banff every year. Also just ahead, what's that smell, the source of the stink wafting through Calgary today?
When I just came around here, it smelled like sewer.
It's very strong, like very obnoxious, yeah.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
All day, people in Calgary were complaining they could notice an unpleasant odor wafting through neighborhoods. Many people called emergency services, worried there was some sort of risk. CTV's Kevin Green tracked down the real source.
Fire crews were kept hopping Wednesday morning responding to calls about gas leaks. Many of those calls came from schools like this one at St. Hubert in northeast Calgary as a powerful stench blanketed the area.
Kind of propane kind of gas smell, yeah.
Is it strong?
Yeah, it's in waves, yeah.
Yeah, it does smell like a little bit like a gas. Yeah. It does, like, I don't know where it's coming from.
Durian fruit.
Well, it's not durian, but it is organic. The smell comes from the runoff ponds at Calgary International Airport.
Is the compounds they use to de-ice when that runoff is collected into retention ponds around the airport. And what it is when it's underneath the ice in the winter, most people don't really notice it, but as soon as we get the warmer conditions in the spring, then it basically smells like a rotting type of smell.
When I just came around here, it smelled like sewer.
How strong is it?
Strong enough for me to recognize it.
It's very strong, like very obnoxious, yeah.
This has been a problem for years now, and it's one the airport says it's addressing. In a statement to CTV, it wrote, "We conduct regular air and water sampling. Air quality remains well within safety limits, and the compounds present are not harmful to people, wildlife, or fish. We continue to work towards long-term solutions to be completed in 2027. The fire department agrees the odor of these ponds isn't toxic, but says people shouldn't assume any smell of gas right now is from the airport. They don't want to miss a real problem.
So we'll always investigate any one of these kind of complaints and then look into it again to make sure there's no hazards.
Kevin Green, CTV News, Calgary.
Banff National Park is seeing more and more visitors. So many people are now making memories at Moraine Lake and stopping at the Sulphur Mountain Gondola that the popular attractions are putting pressure on the park. Officials are now trying to figure out how to manage the tourism boom. CTV's Tyler Barrow has more.
A damp day in March still has people making their way to Banff, and it is living up to its name.
I've been to Switzerland, I've been to Italy. This tops everything. It's just the mountains,
it feels like bigger than life.
I just got here a couple days ago and I absolutely love it. I texted my parents today saying I don't want to leave.
Both international visitors, both in love with the Rockies. Here at the Parks Canada Annual Forum, experts and officials know the visitor volume isn't slowing down.
It's not going to go away. People will continue to want to visit Banff National Park,
which is top of mind among park stakeholders. While over 4 million people visit Banff National Park every year, this linked to more vehicles on Banff's roads and crowding. Banff Mayor Corey DeMano highlighted the need to work with parks to prevent traffic congestion.
Coming up with a more comprehensive and cohesive transportation plan of how to move people sustainably through the park.
She hopes paid parking at the base of the Sulphur Mountain Gondola and hot pools beginning in May will help deter drivers and encourage public transportation. Volume is only expected to go up in Banff and Lake Louise with the return of the federal government's Canada Strong Pass this summer, which allows free access for everyone to national parks.
The Carnival's on, and it's going to be a problem.
Meanwhile, U.S. President Donald Trump introduced a $100 fee for foreign tourists in January to enter 11 of the country's most popular national parks, including the Grand Canyon and Yellowstone. Keeling questions if the Canada Strong Pass should be limited to Canadians.
Being completely free for everyone, which creates a boatload of more vehicle traffic, that's a big problem.
The pass runs this summer from June 19th to September 7th. Tyler Barrow, CTV News, Banff.
When we return, hometown humor. A comedian from Edmonton returns for a special performance.
It's a little bit touching, people have told me.
Good evening, folks. 12 degrees for a daytime high today, well above average once again. Slightly cooler than the 15 we had yesterday. Should see one more day in double digits tomorrow, and then as spring arrives Friday, chance of snow and a cool down kicks in. Those details in just a few minutes.
Thursday on Your Morning, the value of dark humor during tough times with Bruce McCullough from Kids in the Hall. And we turn back the clock on celebrity hairstyles that influenced us all.
Your Morning Edmonton, weekdays.
Programming brought to you by Senior Home Care by Angels, Canada's choice in home care.
Welcome back. 3 degrees, the average daytime high. We were in that range for a low this morning. 2 degrees to start, 12 for a high this afternoon. You get some snow falling across the north. There's freezing rain potential from Peace River through areas north of Slave Lake and south of Fort McMurray. Could be some ice buildup on roadways in those areas. Further south, scattered showers. In the morning, we had a chance some showers or periods of rain here in the Edmonton area. It's about a 70% chance of seeing that precipitation. Then a bit of a break, and then around supper time and into the evening hours, another wave of precipitation rolls in. Initially, this is going to start as some showers or especially just north of the city, some periods of rain. Then it transitions over. There's some cooler air that's going to start to drop in, and that'll flip that precipitation from rain over to some wet snow Thursday night. And Friday, I mean, we're on the southern edge of this, so is pretty much all of Highway 16. But there are going to be some pockets of some heavier snow here in parts of north central and western Alberta, and the potential for some accumulation here in Edmonton as well. A little early to start talking about potential snowfall totals. Come back tomorrow. We'll have a little better handle on that situation. Yeah, at this point, I think at least expect some snow and probably some fresh snow on the ground by the end of the day Friday. Minus 14 in Fort McMurray, minus 13 in Grand Prairie to start the day. You'd be right around the freezing mark in Red Deer, and plus 2 overnight in the Edmonton area. 6 degrees in Grand Prairie tomorrow afternoon. It was minus 4 today in Fort McMurray. You should get to about plus 4 tomorrow. Closer to 10 for Lac La Biche, Whitecourt, Edson areas, and highs of about 11, Lloydminster, Red Deer, and across into Jasper here in Edmonton. Yeah, chances of some rain in the morning, then some sunny breaks, and then rain flipping over to snow. Snow for the spring equinox, breezy as well, gusts to about 30 or 40 kilometers per hour, and a drop in temperatures, 11 tomorrow, 3 on Friday, 2 degrees for Saturday, and although we'll get a little bit of a bump there Sunday, 5 or 6 degrees, the overall trend is for some cooler air to stick around. In fact, Wednesday, Thursday of next week, daytime highs are probably back below 0. That is your forecast.
Canadian comedian legend and Edmonton native Bruce McCullough is returning to his hometown on Friday. The founding member of Kids in the Hall has a new show called Dark Purple Slice. The show is a mix of stand-up comedy, storytelling, and music. McCullough spoke with Your Morning and says while it contains plenty of his trademark gallows humor, there are some surprises.
It's a little bit touching, people have told me. And I've been doing the show, I've done about 12 of them now. People often say, we needed that right now, because there's a part of it that's about how, we're all in this together, this crazy life. So that's part of it.
Tickets are still available for Friday's show at the Meyer Horowitz Theatre. You can catch our full conversation with the comedian on Your Morning tomorrow at 8:15. And that's our show. Thanks for watching. I'm Matt Woodman. Have a great night.